Greetings and salutations. Merry Christmas, everybody. How you doing? So, we're about to talk about more, have a double feature in this case. In this case, we're looking at both Scrooge and Scrooged. So let's look at the film Scrooge first. I gotta say, I've, in the past I've talked about how I did theater in college. I know a lot about A Christmas Carol because, I had, had done a show with it, and, seen a ton of, adaptations of it. I've, been involved in productions of it, mostly just, in the backside part of it. But what was the original 1970s adaptation about? Well, the difference between this one is that sometimes this one is a bit of a musical.
Which says that the Cratchit family are going to have as good a Christmas as the Lord Mayor of London himself.
Oh, I do like that dolly in the corner.
Christmas children peep into Christmas windows. See a world as pretty as a dream.
Christmas trees and toys, Christmas hopes and joys.
Christmas puddings rich with Christmas cream.
And, it tells the story of, Ebenezer Scrooge, how, he's visited by three ghosts of the past, of the ghosts of Christmas present, past, and future. And in a way, they're basically trying to scare him and tell him, say, hey, you gotta change your ways, bud. And I gotta say, I don't think I've seen this version, but I gotta say that this one was pretty good. I kind of like that fact that, sometimes it's a bit of a musical, so I thought, that's rather different. And I thought Albert Finney does a pretty good job as the character.
Poor Tiny Tim. Spirit, you've shown me a Christmas yet to come that mingles great happiness with great sadness. But what is to become of me?
And I think the things that make this a version of it rather different is that, say, yes, it has more of a, musical vibe, and at the same time it comes more of, oh, okay, so it's going to be more of a dramatic aspect to it. And it kind of does, is in the fact, yes, at times when it comes to Carol adaptations, there's always been the relationship between Scrooge and the character of, Belle. I think it was Belle. It wasn't, a girl that he really loved and all that, but eventually, work overconsumes him in a way. And I kind of like the way it's done in this adaptation, and that, you can see how the relationship forms, the connection to each other, in a way. I think it really works.
I can see him, he can see me. Happiness is whatever you want it to be.
I will say at times, sometimes can be a bit okay, what is Albert Finney saying now? Because sometimes he has a bit of almost sounds like he's chewing on marbles at times.
Can you sit down?
Of course I can sit down.
Do so, then.
Yes, you can understand what he's saying, but sometimes he's like, I want to be left alone, and all that. And one thing, the interesting thing I think about this adaptation is, yes, in the fact that, there's always been adaptations in which Scrooge is hey, shown his grave and all that. This version, they send him to hell. And I'm thinking, like, okay, this film is going to say, we're going there. We are going there. And Jacob Marley meets him there, and so I say, you didn't heed my warning, huh? Did you? And then he basically says, here's your chain, here's your chain.
Help me! Help me!
Bah, humbug. Merry Christmas.
Don't leave me, Mary! Help! Help!
And all that. And yeah, I thought this one was pretty good. I thought that since this has a bit of a more musical aspect of it, it comes off as more lively, honestly. I think that's what it does. It gives it more of a sense of liveliness to it, especially for the, the subject. I mean, yes, at times there's always been adaptations of A Christmas Carol that are always going to say, hey, we're going to be more dark about it. And yes, I think, yes, at times, like, say, you probably have some very dark tones for a Christmas Carol. And in fact, like, say, hey, sometimes Scrooge can be a very cruel character.
What has happened? What's happened? It's perfectly simple, Pringle. I've discovered that I like life. I like life. Life likes me. Life and I fairly fully agree. Life is fine. Life is good. Especially mine, which is just as it should be.
In a way, but at the same time, there should be a bit of a lightness at the end of this tunnel that he's going to have to go down to. But yeah, I thought the first one wasn't too bad. Then we're going to look at the film Scrooge. Scrooged. So, anyway, it is a modern retelling that follows Bill Murray as Frank Cross, a cynical and selfish television executive who is visited by a succession of ghosts on Christmas Eve, intent on helping him regain his Christmas spirit. So this film is actually directed by Richard Donner, who directed, other films like, say, Superman and all that. I gotta say, the thing that makes this film a bit different is that, it's taking place in the modern day, and since, he's a television executive, and the ghosts are a bit different, so they have a bit of, they're always trying to say, listen, Scrooge, okay. But in this one, it's say, whether it's the taxi cab ghost from the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Merry Christmas, Frankie Angel.
Merry Christmas to you, Mama.
Niagara Falls, Frankie Angel.
Yeah, I kind of like the fact, they kind of switched it up in the past. It's always been, say, the Ghost of Christmas Past is a woman, so I thought, say, oh, okay, and they have it take place, they're gonna make it a taxi driver, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting, because in a way, that makes it seem, okay, like they're in a taxi cab. I do kind of think, the Christmas present, in this case, Carol Kane, I think she does a great job of, just fighting with him and just saying, almost say, a brother and sister kind of vibes.
Leave me alone, I know this one.
Everybody knows this one. Let's go now.
Yeah, does everybody know this one here?
Oh, Frank, we're fighting again. Let's not fight anymore. Oh, look, Frank. What is it? It's a...
The bitch hit me with a toaster.
She's just throwing stuff at him like a toaster. I do have to say that some of the things that make this adaptation different is that in the way the character of, usually you have the character of Bob Cratchit, but in this case we have the character of Grace Cooley, her son named Calvin Cooley, who, compared to, like, say, Tiny Tim, who, he's basically traumatized of the past. And I thought, okay, that is a fairly good idea. At the same time, like, in past adaptations, Scrooge's, like, love interest, she basically just goes away. But in this adaptation, is like Frank is given so many opportunities to fix his relationship with her, and in a way, basically, I think every time he bumps into Claire, he comes off as more selfish, more arrogant at the same time until...
Take the rest of your life. I'm gonna give you some advice, Claire. Scrape them off. You want to save somebody? Save yourself.
Oh, well, that's a wonderful attitude to have on Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas.
Bah humbug.
Like, when basically the Christmas feature shows him, like, say, hey, this is the mirror, buddy. Look at it.
Finally, thank God, a friend of mine said to me, scrape them off, Claire. You want to save somebody. Save yourself.
I'm sorry, Claire.
Thanks a lot, Lumpy.
Anyway. And I do think that... I think the story kind of moves itself a bit forward too quickly. Like, yes, like, say some aspects of it are really good, like Frank's relationship with Claire, and in a way, because, yes, like, say, most, like, it's always been the aspect of, the Ghost of Christmas future has always been kind of sped through, in a way, at least I think so, because in this version, Frank basically is put, like, he's put inside the coffin, to give him more of that terror, in a way, of, like, say, hey, yeah, you can see the coffin, you know it's you. But...
Please don't let him burn me, kid. Jimmy, don't let him burn me. Please don't let him burn me. I'm in here. Oh, God. Don't let him do it. Don't let him do it. Don't let him do it.
And this time, he's put inside it, as the body is, being burned, and I say, okay, that is in a way good and effective, and that it's going to show, hey, the character's going to be, like, scared, stiff, into changing. So, yeah, I think this film's really good. I think as basically the character of Elliot Loudermilk, he's also the character of, defined as a character of, Bob Cratchit, in a way, in the fact, he's not totally like him, but at the same time, it's like, say, hey, because, Frank is a bit kind of cruel to a lot of folks in it, so basically, yeah, there could be a modern day aspect of it, and, yeah, I thought this was a fairly entertaining film. It does make me think, like, say, yeah, it's been a while since they've thought of making a modern version of Carol, which makes me think, okay, when are they going to do one which is basically just Elon Musk, in a way? Because we know that Elon would basically be just going to... He'd have a moment of, like, why is everybody mean to me? In a way, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I thought both of these were fairly good. I'm really surprised about the Albert Finney version. I thought, like, okay, yeah, this one's gonna go harder. But yeah, I thought both of these were fairly entertaining.
I'm not crazy. It's Christmas Eve. It's the one night of the year when we all act a little nicer. We smile a little easier. We share a little more. For a couple of hours out of the whole year, we are the people that we always hoped we would be. It's a miracle. It's really a sort of a miracle, because it happens every Christmas Eve.
But see you next time. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. Feliz Navidad. If you're not celebrating anything, Happy New Year.